Let's welcome in CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Reiter to put a bow on another exciting night of playoff hoops. Bill, I want to begin with the Knicks here because it was really a tale of two games. In game one, they go cold down the stretch offensively. In game two, they flip the script. They find their stride offensively and really shut down Trey and the Atlanta Hawks down the stretch. How impressed were you by their ability to bounce back after trailing in this game and trailing in the series to now even it at one aside?
Yeah, Joe, it was a gutsy win, obviously a huge win, and as you said, as you asked, incredibly impressive. You go down 2-0, you lose both those games at home, it feels like it's over. Just ask the Los Angeles Clippers and give the Knicks credit. And I think really, and look, Julius Randle had a big game, especially late. A lot of guys you can point to, but I thought the big difference was Derrick Rose. You're talking about largely two teams of players who haven't experienced the postseason in a real way. That really came, I think, to the forefront for the Hawks down the stretch. Derrick Rose was a guy who did not shy away from the moment. He's had an up-and-down career. Obviously, the injuries, the youngest MVP in NBA history, and a playoff contender way back in the day against LeBron and the Heat. And you could just feel his energy, his confidence, his swagger rubbing off on the Knicks. I still think the Hawks are the better team. I think it's going to be a grinded-out series, go either way. But it's a huge win for New York, and I think it shows a lot of character and a lot of heart in what was, as you said, a pretty dire situation down in that game, facing it. They couldn't turn it around a 2-0 series lead.
Yeah, D. Rose said it before the series. Don't call it vintage. He's doing what he's doing at this age and doing it well on Wednesday as well. Elsewhere, the 76ers, they seem to have stated their claim over their opening series with the Wizard. The home road woes for the Sixers that were so well documented in the past, not as pronounced this year, but Philly now heading on the road. What sort of signs are you looking for as they do take this show on the road and try and take a stranglehold on this series?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, they have been great at home in the postseason. You got to win on the road. And the reality is the momentum matters in the postseason. And with all respects to the Wizards, they're in the playoffs. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. They're just not the same caliber team as, frankly, most of the other teams that are in the playoffs right now. That means Philly has a chance to go on the road and really take command of the series and just infuse themselves with some confidence wherever they're playing. They got to continue to be aggressive and continue to move the ball. And Philly's going to make hay by making sure that Joel Embiid is the best player on the floor and is out there and is dominating. You want to see Tobias Harris hit some big shots. You obviously want to see Ben Simmons continue to facilitate. All Philly has to do is not be meek, not get passive, not take the series for granted, right? Play with urgency, even though they clearly feel like and have shown they're the better team. You do that, and I think it carries over to the next series. And hopefully the series after that, if you're a Philly fan, as the games and teams get tougher and those road games become more challenging.
Yeah, most definitely. There is some value to getting it done in the minimum and doing it in a stress-free fashion as well relative to the other series that are going on across the NBA landscape. Let's keep moving across the landscape. Utah, convincing win here. High-scoring affair in Game 2, and the impact of Donovan Mitchell felt literally from the opening tip. Bill, when you take a look at Spider and what he brings to this team, where does he most elevate his team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as simple as this. I don't think Utah's gotten the credit they deserve all year as a team when Donovan Mitchell was healthy. They're the best team in the NBA by record. And, Joe, you know this. I mean, any other team that's, let's say, a top 3 or 4 seed, let alone the top seed in the Western Conference, that loses its best player and its key offensive player would kind of be given the benefit of the doubt. The narrative, if they lost a game without their star player, would be, oh, you know, makes sense. They lost insert star player. For Utah, a lot of the noise was these guys aren't that good. They're a little overrated. Donovan Mitchell comes back. He's their best offensive player. I think, you know, Rudy Gobert is his counterpart clearly on the defensive end. He brings an energy, a confidence. He can get buckets. And the thing about the Jazz, I mean, we've seen this in the past, without Mitchell, Utah still won games, still played well. So a whole bunch of guys, I think, convinced themselves in that locker room they could contribute. But when Mitchell returns and has, 25 points, I think, in 25 minutes, it's a reminder to that entire team, we're good enough. We have the firepower. We believe we're the best team in the NBA, and we've got our guy back. And you saw that. They were a dip. And yeah, Memphis was great, at least offensively. I mean, that was a high-powered game, and Ja Morant was incredible. And Utah never flinched. Memphis made a couple runs because Utah was up big a few times, which I was monitoring because I was pretty significantly on Utah with a pretty dangerous -9.5 cover. Utah never, ever buckled because with Donovan Mitchell on the floor, right or wrong, they believe they're the best team in the NBA, and I think you saw it in that game.
Yeah, Mitchell and the Jazz demanding their respect through dominance on Wednesday night. He's Bill Reiter. He's always dominant with us here on CBS Sports HQ. Thank you, my friend. All right, the beat rolls on, and we don't stop. Thursday's NBA playoff slate, courtesy of our friends at William Hill. The Bucks find themselves 1-point favorites on the road against the Heat as that series moves to Miami. Milwaukee looking to take their own stranglehold, already leading 2-0. The Suns and the Lakers even at a game apiece. Lakers 7-point favorites on home wood. Suns perhaps taking some respect of their own as that one moves to La La Land. And the Nuggets and the Blazers going to round things out at 10:30 Eastern. Blazers laying.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.